So nice and comfy onto your mat, whatever that looks like for you. I know some of you may like to use props to begin your class. So maybe having blocks underneath the calves, sometimes even having blocks up a little bit higher onto the thighs, underneath to the bottom part of the thighs can be comfortable as well. Having a blanket onto your low belly just to provide a little bit of extra support and awareness to that area can feel nice as well. And as you begin to settle in, start to come into a greater sense of awareness of the physical body. So are you noticing any sensations? Are there any areas that are really craving some movement this evening? Are there any areas that are telling you, you know what? Let's be chill. Let's relax. Whatever story your body wants to share, take a few moments and listen. Sometimes it's nice to move through a gentle body scan so that you don't miss any areas. So maybe starting all the way at the tips of the toes, and then slowly moving all the way up along the body till you get to the crown of the head. Noticing all the areas, all the sensations, all the messages along the way. After you've completed that physical check-in, you can begin to do the same with your mental and emotional self, your thoughts, emotions, how you're feeling, just acknowledging whatever it is you need to acknowledge. Thanking your body, thanking your mind and your breath for helping you to arrive to your mat this evening, whatever you may have had to go through. Whatever you moved through, whatever you were able to do to get yourself to this point this evening, be proud and be grateful for our opportunity to spend some time together on our mat. Moving here to draw your focus to your breath. Begin to notice the pattern and the flow of your inhales and your exhales. Just like the physical and the emotional bodies that we explore, that we acknowledge, our breath can tell us a story as well. Does your breath feel labored, short? Does it feel long? Do you feel a sense of flow between your inhales and your exhales? Maybe even asking yourself what your breath is trying to tell you right now in this moment. Are you holding any tension anywhere physically, emotionally that you could release with the help of your breath? Such a powerful tool. you're looking for a little more connection to your breath, I always like to suggest bringing the hands to the low belly to connect that physical movement with your breath, a little bit more sensation and feeling here. Let's begin to count with our breath, working to create a sense of equality between the inhales and the exhales. So as you inhale, take a full breath in through the nose if you can. Feel that belly expand, maybe pushing out through the hands if you'd found them there. Good. As then you exhale, feel free to sigh out the mouth, let the air escape. Feel that belly slowly start to draw back down. Maybe you feel that low back imprinting a little bit more into the mat. Good. Let's try that one more time, then we'll bring in some counting. Nice full breath in, expand. Good. Full breath out, release. So we'll start to bring in some counting. We'll do a count of 4 on our inhale, and then that same count of 4 on our exhale. We'll move through one together, and then I'll let you continue at your own rhythm, your own speed. So take a nice full breath in through the nose. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's move through one more round together, actually. And then we'll move through on our own. So when you're ready, finding that inhale nice and full. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, nice full belly. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue to create the count between your inhales and your exhales, feeling free to extend a little bit if you wish. 5, 6, and 6, or even coming down to 3 and 3, whatever you can work through with your body right now. Good. From wherever you are, allow yourself one more complete full round here. Good. And then allow that breath to return to its own natural pattern. Maybe noticing a shift in the length, shift in the depth. And then as you feel ready, begin to invite some gentle movement to come back into your body. So wiggles, fingers and toes is a great way to start. If your knees are bent, maybe some gentle sways from side to side. You can do the same if the feet are extended, just gently allowing the feet to tip from one side to the other. And moving through any stretches, anything that you need before you come to drawing the knees in towards your chest. So meeting ourselves there. When we're ready, you can take a nice rock from side to side. And then choosing what will feel best for your body. So maybe taking each hand on each knee and making circles with the knees, drawing them away from each other and then back together. It's a great one to awaken through the hips, or maybe you choose to draw each knee in towards the chest one at a time while the other foot stays planted onto the mat. It's getting a little bit more of a stretch in through the glutes. Whichever option you've chosen, just making sure you're doing both sides. So if you're making those hip circles, switching direction. If you were drawing the knee into the chest, just making sure you're going back and forth between the right and the left. Good, one more full round of each movement, wherever you are. And then we'll meet by drawing those knees in towards the chest. Good, give them a nice squeeze, a nice hug. Awesome, then let's lower that left foot down onto the mat. That left knee can stay extended for now as you draw that right knee in towards the chest. This is a great opportunity as well. If you have your strap, you can loop it around the ball of the right foot and help with that drawing motion in towards the right side. Give that right knee a little bit of a rock from side to side. Good, and then we're gonna draw that right knee all the way over top of the left. So you can extend through that left leg, take that right knee, draw it all the way over top of that left extended leg. Good, you can draw that right arm out to the side, palm up, palm down. That gaze can stay up towards the ceiling, or if it's okay for your neck, you can bring it over to gaze at those fingertips. Good, with that left hand, I would invite you to bring that hand to the outside of the right thigh, wherever it rests. Just giving yourself a little bit more of a gentle twist here. Good, taking another 2 full breaths on this side, really focusing that breath into the back body if you can. Good. After that next exhale, slowly begin to guide that knee back to the center. Draw that right knee in. One more little hug. Good. Then let's switch it up. Actually, before we switch it up, I'm going to switch it up. We'll do something a little different first. Let's plant both of the feet onto the mat, knees towards the sky. Walk the heels a little bit closer towards your bum. Reach your fingertips down towards your heels. Press the palms of the mat firmly in. The palms of your hands firmly into the mat. We're going to come into our bridge pose. Some few gentle bridges to start opening up through that chest, starting to engage through our glutes and lower body. So on your next inhale, take a nice full breath. Good. On the exhale, begin to engage through your abdominals. Almost feel like you're cinching, drawing them towards one another. And then lift up through those hips. So push out through the heels, out through the hands, lift the hips up. Doesn't need to be a very high bridge, just high enough where you start to feel a little bit of engagement through those glutes, through those hamstrings. Good. Another full breath in. Awesome. And then on your exhale, slowly lower yourself down. One vertebrae at a time, nice and slow, till you bring that low back down to the mat. Good, let's move through that one more time. So take a nice full breath in, create that expansion through the belly. Good, exhale, contract, feel those abdominals drawing together horizontally, beautiful, and then push, lift, come up into your bridge. Good, just take a little peek so that gaze can stay up towards the sky, but if you can peek towards those knees, notice that those knees are drawing towards one another. They don't need to touch, but we want to make sure and do our best to not have the knees out to the side. When the knees draw closer together, we find that we have a little bit more engagement through those glutes. It makes it a little bit easier for us to squeeze. Good, one more full breath in our bridge. Good, exhale, lower yourself all the way down. Beautiful. From here, let's draw that left knee in towards the chest. Give it a nice hug, a rock from side to side. Again, the strap is a beautiful prop here that you can use. Good, and then we'll come into that twist on the opposite side. So extend through that right leg, draw that left knee over top of the right leg. You can extend that left arm out long to the side. See if you can bring that right hand to the outside of the left thigh, and then maybe the gaze searches for those left fingertips. Full breath breath into your back body. Nice opening through the left side of the chest. Good. One more full round of breath. Awesome. Slowly after that next exhale, draw that knee back towards center. Good. You can extend that left leg down long, so both legs are extended down long to the bottom of your mat, or maybe even have the knees bent so they're pointed towards the sky, wherever you're most comfortable. We'll just take a few breaths to connect with our core and making sure that we're really engaging through those transverse abdominal muscles, the inner abdominals, the ones that we can't see, but the ones that really help with our stability and preventing injury. So bring your hands to your low belly, fingertips facing one another. They don't need to be touching. You can have the hands more towards the side, towards the hips. And from here, let's take a full breath in so we find that expansion through the belly. And as you exhale, I want you to contract through your abdominals. So I want you to feel almost like you're trying to draw those fingertips together. You're having an engagement through the core, but not necessarily just drawing the belly button right towards the spine. We want to feel like we're wrapping the abdominals, like we're trying to draw those fingers together, almost like we're cinching a corset. And then release. Right, it's a tricky one. It takes some time to practice. It's one that we're not commonly, we don't as commonly use as a cue. So let's try that a couple more times together. So hands onto the low belly, fingertips pointed towards one another. Let's take a nice full breath in. Good, full breath out, engage. Good, then relax. Awesome, try 2 more times here. Always taking that inhale first, really create that expansion. And then as you exhale, after you exhale, find that engagement. I recently did a class where they taught us this technique, and one of the things that they said that was something that was so easy for me to visualize was blow before you go. So when you inhale and then once you exhale, that's when you want to engage your abdominals. So you want to exhale and then engage. It helps us to find that connection. Good. Beautiful. After that next round, draw those knees back into your chest. Rolling over onto the side of your choice. Good, and then from here, slowly drawing yourself up onto your hands and your knees into your tabletop. So taking a moment to set up however you need for your tabletop position here. So rolling up the mat, cushion for the knees. You could do the same for the wrists. If you have a blanket or something that would give a little bit of extra padding under the wrist, that's a great option as well. So find your tabletop. Begin to sway those hips from side to side. Just get a little connection, a little bit of reacquaintance with the knees on the mat, the hands onto the mat. Really push through the pads of all of your fingers. And then when you come through to center, you can drop the belly, lift the chest, come into your cow pose. Draw that gaze forward, push the tops of the feet into the mat. When you're ready, you can exhale, round, tuck the chin, push the mat away, and come into your cat. Continue to move through your cat-cow, a very familiar posture for most of us. So maybe see if you can mix it up a little bit this evening. How does it feel to move very, very slow? Maybe a lot slower than you're used to, making it your goal to articulate each and every vertebrae slowly, slowly, slowly. How does it feel to extend one leg behind? Tuck the toes of one foot behind and then move through some of your cat and cows that way as well. Just play around with this familiar pose and see how some subtle changes can really make a difference as to how you feel in the body. Coming into one more full round here. Beautiful. Coming back to your tabletop, I'll invite you to walk those hands out a little bit further in front. So they're in front of the shoulders. Walk those knees back slightly as well. Tops of the toes down onto the mat. We're going to slowly lower the chest down onto the mat. So draw the weight over top of the wrist. Bend through the elbows. Slowly lower your chest onto your mat. From here, we're going to come into Sphinx. Plant the hands onto the mat. Open up through the chest, draw those shoulder blades together, push through the tops of your feet, maybe engage those glutes. So Sphinx pose is a great one to get that opening through the chest, a little bit of engagement through the shoulders. If this is too high and you're feeling like you're rounding, having those shoulder blades too much up towards the ears, you can always stack the hands on top of one another, have the elbows out to the side. Sometimes this can be a little bit more supportive. Sometimes it can also feel nice to walk the hands even further out in front. So it's a little bit less of a lift. And sometimes it can draw some tension out of the low back. So take whatever variation feels comfortable for you and then move through 3 breaths. After that 3rd exhale, slowly draw those hands back underneath the chest. Tuck those toes, push out through the hands. Send those hips back to your child's pose. Take a moment to connect that forehead to a mat, to a pillow, to a block, whatever's available to you this evening, and begin to gently rock that forehead from side to side. Good. Come back through the center. Take a full breath in through the nose. Sigh, let it out through the mouth. Beautiful. Once more. Nice inhale through the nose, nice and full. Exhale, sigh. Awesome. Slowly begin to walk those hands towards the knees. We're going to tuck those toes. And then we're going to come into a forward fold right at the back of our mat. So however is comfortable for you to get there. So forward fold at the back of the mat, nice rich bend into the knees. You can take opposite hands to opposite elbows here if you find that comfortable. Bring in a gentle sway side to side. You can even bring your hands to a block below as well. Some people find that comfortable too. So whatever you're looking for, take a few breaths there. And let's begin to come into our halfway lift. So draw your hands towards your shins, draw that gaze forward, nice length through the spine, almost like you're trying to balance a drink or a plate onto your back. Nice full breath in, look forward. Good. Exhale, full breath out and fold. Good. Let's try that one more time. Full breath in, hands to shins, come up onto your fingertips into that halfway lift. Good, and then gentle bend in the knees, tuck the chin towards the chest, roll yourself all the way up to your standing mountain at the back of your mat. If you wish, you can take a nice, rich extension through the fingertips as you inhale up. And then exhale, draw everything through your heart center into your Tadasana. We'll take a few breaths in our Tadasana. Hands can be heart center, belly. You can have the hands down to the side. Eyes can be closed here if that helps you with a sense of connection. Let's start at our root, at our feet. Can you lift and splay each toe? Really finding a firm connection between the bottom of your foot. Moving up through the legs, They're strong, they're stable, but also some softness in that space behind the knees. So you're not locking out. Moving up through to that core, can you find a gentle engagement? Just enough so that you continue to stabilize through that spine as you move all the way up. Soften those shoulders away from the ears, soften that gaze, and breathe. After your next exhale, you can slowly open the eyes if they were closed. Start to take a nice full breath in as you reach the arms up. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand forward and the right hand either out to the side or behind you, coming into your boomerang. And as you're doing this, try your best to keep your hips facing forward so your hips aren't coming with you. Your arms are the only thing opening. So left hand forward, right arm can be directly out to the side or it can be slightly behind. Gaze can come to those right fingertips. Full breath in. Full breath out, soften. Good, sweep that right arm back to make the left inhale, reach up. Good, exhale, opposite side. Right arm forward, left arm either out to the side or behind. Take that gaze to the left fingertips, full breath in. Good, full breath out. Awesome, circle those left fingertips back up to meet the right. Move through one more on each side. Take your time, full breath on each side, move at your own pace. And again, check in with those hips. Are they facing towards the front of the mat the whole time? Maybe it means you need to make that motion with the arms a little bit less, and that is okay too. We want to keep stability through the low body here. And after you finish on that opposite side, draw the fingertips back up to the sky, join the palms together, exhale, hands down through your heart. Good. Let's bring our hands to our hips here and step our right foot forward. And we're going to keep that left foot back. We're going to keep that left foot on a 45 degree. That right foot is going to be forward, that right knee slightly bent. Again, both of those hips tracking forward just like we did in our Tadasana. We're coming into our warrior one. So when you're set up, you can take those arms out to the side. Let's come into some nice cactus arms. Open up through that chest, soften through those shoulders. Take a nice full breath in and out. Check in with your low back here. Did you drop through your pelvis? Try to, if you can, come into a little bit more of an engagement through the core. So try not to drop all the way forward. Find that core engagement like we practiced when we were on our backs, and nice and strong and stable through the abdominals. And another full breath. Beautiful. After that next exhale, draw the hands to the hips. We're going to pivot those left toes so now they face the front of our mat. We're going to bring the right into the right foot as we draw that left foot up. And bring that left sole of the foot to the inside of the right calf. So we're coming into our tree pose. Couple options here. You can leave those left toes down onto the mat to give yourself a little bit more of a root, maybe help with stability. If you wish to come into a little bit more balance, you can draw that left sole of the foot up to the inside of the right calf, actively squeezing that left foot and that right calf together, actively towards one another. Or if you wish, you can even draw the left sole of the foot up towards the inside of the right thigh. Choose a position that works for your arms, hand at heart center. A little bit more of a challenge might be to extend the arms even forwards or backwards and throw off our center of gravity. We'll take 3 full breaths. Find your drishti, find a spot that isn't moving. And come into that sense of balance. Balance physically. But can you also maybe bring to mind a way that you draw balance into your life? What does balance look like? What does that mean for you? Good, coming in and out of the pose as needed. Beautiful, I love the options. I love the change of the arms, that's a great idea. Good, final breath here. Awesome, after that next exhale, hands can come to the hips, left knee draws towards the front of the mat, and then place that left foot down beside the right. Draw the hands down to the side, palms forward, soften the shoulders, come back into that Tadasana. Beautiful, gently begin to open up through the eyes. Take a nice inhale to reach the arms up. Good, and then an exhale, come into those boomerang arms once more. So left arm can come forward first and then right behind. And then on your inhale, draw everything back through the center and exhale, opposite side. Move through 2 on each side. Awesome, and then once you're ready, lift both fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come back down through your heart. Good, bring the hands to the hips. Let's come into our warrior one on the opposite side. So we're in the middle of our mat-ish right now. We'll step that left foot forward, and then we'll work to bring that right foot. So it's on a 45-degree, gentle bend into that left knee, both of those hips tracking forward. Good, and then when you're ready, choose that variation for the arms. You can have arms in your cactus. You can have hands interlaced behind you, opening up through that chest. Again, check in with the pelvis, check in with the low back. Can you engage through those abdominals? Good, nice and gentle. Take your 3 breaths here. And then after that 3rd round, bring the hands back to the hips, eyes open if they were closed. Pivot those right toes so they're facing the front of your mat. Weight comes into the left foot as you draw that right foot to the inside of the left calf. So again, those right toes can stay onto your mat. They can come up to push into the left calf. Again, both are drawing towards one another, or you can even draw it up higher if you wish. Choose your hand option and come back to that concept of balance. Maybe even a visualization here. What does balance look like for you when you're in this pose, you're physically balancing? Where would you be balancing in your life right now? What does that look like? Good. I'll take 2 more breaths. Everyone looks awesome, nice and strong. I love the variations. Good. Take your final breath here in that tree. Good, and then draw those hands onto your hips, right knee towards the front of the mat. Bring the right foot down to meet the left, palms out to the side. Soften the shoulders, close the eyes, come back to that Tadasana. Strong, stable, confident mountain pose. And begin to open the eyes if they were closed. I'm gonna try something, I hope it works. It's playing a little bit with space on the mat, but we'll get through it together. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Weight's gonna come into that right foot. I'll get you to step that left foot back onto a 45-degree. We're coming back into that familiar warrior one. So take a minute, check in with your cues, hips, right knee, back toes. Good, from here I want you to take both of those arms up towards the sky. And then I'll get you to bring that left hand in front and that right hand to the side. Come into a very, very gentle twist. So don't take those right fingertips all the way back. Just bring the right fingertips straight out from the shoulder. Good, full breath in. Full breath out. Awesome, bring the hands back into heart center. Pivot those toes forward. And then we're gonna step that right foot back to meet the left. So instead of going forward like we normally would, we're gonna come back so we're into the middle of our mat. So you can drag those right toes or take as many steps as you need so that you're in your forward fold in the center of your mat. Good. Take a moment in your Tadasana, reset. Awesome, let's move through that on the opposite side. So we're slowly inching ourselves back. So that weight's coming into the left foot. We're stepping that right foot back on the 45-degree. Do those little check-ins for yourself in your warrior one. Good, take those arms up towards the sky. And then exhale, right fingertips forward, left fingertips straight out from the shoulders. Nice and gentle, that gaze can come to the left fingertips if you're comfortable with that. Take that full breath. Good, and then as you finish your exhale, come back through the center, hands at your heart. Draw those right toes forward. Bend gently in through that right knee and draw that left foot back to meet its partner. So we're at the back of our mat into our Tadasana. Good. Take a nice full breath in here, reach the arms up. Exhale, arms come out to the side, swan dive yourself into your forward fold. Take whatever variation you enjoy. Sways, just letting the arms dangle. Good. From here, let's come into our halfway lift. Hands come to shins, draw the gaze forward. Good, and then exhale back down to your fold. Beautiful, bend a little bit deeper into those knees. Walk those fingertips a little bit out in front of you so that you can support yourself by bringing one knee down to the mat and then the other. Draw those knees a little bit wider towards the long edges of your mat if that's comfortable, and then sink those hips back into your child's pose, resting that forehead wherever is available to you, coming into some sways. We'll be staying in our child's pose for about 10 breaths. So if child's pose isn't a pose that you find overly comfortable, please choose one where you find a sense of comfort. That is the intention behind the next 10 breaths. A way for you to reacquaint your body, being down to your mat. As you come to your last few cycles of breath here in your child's pose, can you ask yourself if there's any other areas of the body that you could soften a little bit more? Maybe it's through the shoulders, through the belly, maybe even the hips. After your next round of breath, slowly begin to walk the hands back up towards your knees. bringing the feet over to one side to come to a comfortable seat. So legs can be crossed. If that isn't something you find comfortable, you can always have the legs extended out long as well. We're going to come into a twist. So nice full breath in to reach up, and then exhale, bring the left hand, sorry, I missed it around, left hand, right knee, right fingertips behind. Take a nice full breath in and then exhale to twist towards the right. So find, if you can, with each inhale length, almost like someone's gently drawing that crown of the head towards the sky, and then with each exhale, find that twist. Good, take one more full round. Beautiful, slowly draw yourself back up through the center. Take another circle up with the arms all the way up towards the sky, and then exhale opposite side. So left hand, oh my God, I did it again. Right hand, left knee, left fingertips come behind. I was gonna say it's Friday, but it's not, it's Wednesday. That's okay. Good, don't forget to find that length. If you collapse through that left shoulder, really push up through those fingertips. Those hands can even come to a block. That gives you a little bit more opening and space. Good, beautiful. One more full round. Good, draw yourself back through the center. Good, draw the feet out in front of you, planting them down onto your mat, knees up towards the sky. Bringing the hands down, fingertips can face forward or they can face out to the side. Open up through that chest, draw those shoulder blades together behind the body. Open up that heart, gaze towards the ceiling. Take a nice full breath in. Good, and a releasing breath out. Awesome, slowly begin to come down to each forearm as we begin to make our way back down onto our backs. So any little shifts or movements you need to make your way back there. If you have a bolster or a block, you can use either one. I would suggest a bolster. It's a little bit more gentle. If you don't have a bolster, you can take a blanket, you can roll it up, or you can use a pillow. And then once you're down, once you have those props close, just making sure they're within reach distance. Once you've made your way back down to your mat, you can leave the soles of the feet onto the earth, the knees towards the sky. We're going to come into a supported bridge. So bridge, a posture we've already moved through at the beginning of our practice, but we add support by placing a prop underneath the low back. So you could take a block. I would recommend it at its lowest height and place it just onto the low back area. You may need to play around with where it feels the most comfortable. Some people really like the sturdiness and the support of a block. Others may prefer a pillow. So you could do the same thing with a pillow, lift up through the hips, place a pillow underneath the low back, or you could also do the same thing with your bolster. So if you have props and you'd like to use one of them in your supported bridge, you are welcome to play around with which one feels best for you. If you don't have any props, that's not a problem. You're welcome to stay in the posture with soles of the feet to the ground, knees towards the sky, hands to the belly. If you have a prop under the low back, imagine that low back melting, really sinking into that prop, feeling its full support. We don't need to work in this posture the same way as we would if we didn't have the support beneath our low back. Coming into full breaths, in and out the nose, or maybe in the nose, in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you find this posture comfortable for yourself, and you would like to stay here for your Shavasana, you are more than welcome to. If you'd like to come into a different version of your Shavasana, you're welcome to push through those feet, lift up through the hips, remove any props you may have been using in your supported bridge, and then make your way to your Shavasana now. Settling yourself down once you arrive. Feeling every part of your body that's making connection with the mat. Get heavy. Allowing this time for your body to rest. Be still as best you can. Really surrender to the beauty of this posture. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just being here exactly as you are, exactly as you can be right now in this moment. As you begin to feel ready, you can slowly begin to bring some movement back into the body. If you wish to stay in your Shavasana longer, you are welcome to do so. There is no need to rush out of this posture just yet. If you chose movement, slowly coming onto the side of your choice, just being mindful to remove any props that may have been supporting you. Good. And then from your side body, slowly pushing yourself into a comfortable seated posture. As you arrive there, you can take a few more moments with the eyes closed. Hands can come to the knees, soften those shoulders down. A moment of acknowledgement, of gratitude for your body, your breath, and your mind that moved you through your practice this evening. I'm grateful for our ability to practice together as a community. And for all the yoga teachers that came before us that allow us to practice this beautiful practice that we continue to be able to do online. If you wish to join me, you can bring your hands into your heart, maybe gentle tuck of the chin towards the chest.
hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. This is always one of the highlights of my week, so thank you for being a part of it. From my light to yours, namaste. Thank you all very much.